What's going on, guys? It's Thomas Marr again. If you're just joining us, I'm a U.S. Army veteran turned civilian project manager and powerlifting strongman coach for the past 4 to 5 years. This 53-week series is all about real, no-cost training plans to help you meet your goals this year in 2025. Last week was our second week of training, so we've already been after it, but if you're just joining us, feel free to jump in at any point, and if you haven't already, I'll have the intro video linked in the description below, so if you haven't watched already, go ahead and watch that too. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Last week, week 2, we pushed up our reps on some of our main movements, such as bench, deadlift, and squat. We went to 3x5s on that, and we swapped out a couple of different movements. Just as I was working out through the week, going through the program myself, I found a couple of things that may work a little better for us, and same thing will go for this week. So we had 3x5s on bench on Monday with a good amount of supporting exercises to go along with that. And I'll post a couple of videos today here on YouTube Shorts. I've posted some on my page as well on Instagram. If you want to look in the description below, I've got a link to that there too. So week 2 or day 2, our conditioning day on Tuesday. That was definitely a doozy. We had a 150 cal bike or rower, and then every 2 minutes, we split that up. Every 2 minutes, we had 10 burpees over line. It took me about 19 minutes to do it, and I felt like I was kicking ass during that. So that one was a doozy, and then I went ahead and did our second option as well, which was 5 rounds for time. We had 10 dumbbell snatches, males 50-pound dumbbell, females 35-pound dumbbell, 15 cals on ski or bike, and then 20 wall balls with a 20-pound ball for male, 14 pounds for female. I did that in about 15, yeah, something like that. It was just over 15 minutes. But with the 150 cal bike before that, that one was pretty rough. Moving on from there, our Wednesday, we had our lower strength day. Again, we had 3x5 on barbell deadlifts. Had a pretty good day there. Then we moved through our supporting movements on there. Thursday, here where I'm located, we had a pretty big winter storm come through, so the gym was shut down. So, but that was okay because we had a steady state day. So I went for a walk around the block with a nice pack on. And then Friday, we had our full body strength day. I wasn't able to get to that day this week. So I'm going to be putting forth a little bit more effort this week, going into our strength days. But if you were able to, you had a 3x5 on squat, which again, we had 3x4 last week. So 3x5 this week. We're 3x3 last week, and then 3x5 this week. So we're trying to keep that same weight on the bar while we're just adding that volume as well. And then Saturday, of course, was our active recovery day, 30 to 45 minutes, continuous low impact. So whether it's walking, swimming, rucking with a light pack, something like that, just keep it at a naturally brisk pace, things of that nature. So this week, moving into week 3, January 12th to January 18th, structure is going to look pretty much the same, except we're changing out a few exercises to keep it interesting, finding a couple of things that may work a little better. But then also we're going to be progressing on our load. So this week we definitely want to focus on trying to either maintain that same weight while keeping this volume up, like raising our volume, or add a little bit more if you can. So upper strength day, day 1. Monday we have barbell bench press as a 4x4. So I'll post some videos this week of the past couple of weeks of training. Here on YouTube Shorts. I know a couple of people are asking. I just didn't get around to it this week, but I'll do that today. And again, if you have any questions about form or technique or anything, feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment, and we can get together and go over that together sometime. So 4x4 on bench press, followed by a superset of pull-ups, three sets of pull-ups at max reps. You can do heavy lat pull-downs if pull-ups are a little too hard for you, but we do want to be able to progress to the point where we can do pull-ups unassisted. So pull-ups, 3 sets of max reps, supersetted with, again, dumbbell single arm overhead press, or you can use a kettlebell. I didn't really feel like walking 50 meters to the other side of the gym to go get a dumbbell and bring it over. So I just used a kettlebell that was right there. And that'll be a 3x10 for each side. So we'll do 3 rounds of that superset, and then we'll move on to our fourth exercise for bent over rows for a 3x10. And then after that we have seated shoulder press instead of the delt raises. We'll do seated shoulder press with dumbbells for a 3x10. And then after that, we'll move into our 6th and 7th exercises, which again is our alternating dumbbell curls for a 3x10, and then dumbbell French press, dumbbell Skullcrusher for a 3x10. So whichever one of those you prefer to do. And then our final exercise closing out our strength day is going to be 3 max time hang from bar. After all of those exercises, your forearms might be a little bit blown up, so don't be surprised if it's not as long as you think. But I did find that out this previous week as well. So that wraps up our upper strength day for Monday. Moving on to day 2, Tuesday, we have our first conditioning day, and we've got 2 options here. Me personally, I'm going to go ahead and do both, but feel free to pick your poison on either of those. For option 1, it's going to be a for time workout. We're going to do a 21, 15, 9, so 3 total rounds. And it's going to be 3 different exercises. So front squats. For males, a good target is 135 on the bar, and then females, 95 pounds on the bar. If you can't do that, just do what you can. You want to be able to put forth some effort on this. So it'll be 21 front squats, 15 front squats, 9 front squats. But we'll do 21 front squats and then 21 pull-ups and then 21 double presses. For double press, good target is 35 pounds for male, 20 pounds for female. But it'll be 3 total rounds, so you'll run through front squat, pull-up, double press for 21 reps, and then front squat, pull-up, double press for 15 reps, and then front squat, pull-up, double press for 9 reps. So that'll be our first option. Our second option is going to be for time as well. It'll also be 3 rounds, 50, 35, 20. So first step will be hand release push-ups for 50 reps, and then the second step will be for calories on the rower. You can sub a bike if you want. If you don't have access to any of that type of equipment, you can go ahead and do a run. I don't know if you have a Garmin or an Apple Watch or something that will help you track calories. But if you have any questions on how to gauge your calorie expenditure on a run, go ahead and shoot me a message and we can talk through it. But for time, it'll be those 3 rounds. So 50 hand release push-ups, 50 rows, row cals, 35 hand release push-ups, 35 row cals, 20 hand release push-ups, 20 row cals. So those are our 2 options there. I'll go ahead and do both. I'll try to post videos of those as well this week, hopefully on the same day. But that wraps up our day 2 conditioning day for Tuesday. Going on to Wednesday, we have our lower strength day, which we're moving up our volume here as well. We're going to be doing barbell deadlift as our first exercise for a 4x4 this week, much like bench, and you'll see later on in the week it's going to be kind of the same thing. So 4x4 and barbell deadlift, and we'll move straight into barbell stiff leg deadlift for a 3x10. Following that, we'll have dumbbell alternating step ups for a 3x10 on each leg. So 1 left leg, 1 right leg, 2 left leg, 2 right leg, so on and so forth. For our 4th exercise, we got goblet squats again for a 3x10. For our 5th, we've got leg curls for a 3x10, and then we have our superset again for our calves, standing calf raise for a 2x20, and tib raise for a 2x20. And make sure we're getting full extension on these and don't rush them. This is calves, or having strong calves that's going to help keep that ankle stable. So we definitely want to make sure that we're getting the work that we need on those calves. So, and then our closeout is going to be ab rollouts for 3 sets of max reps. Again, you can sub for if you don't have a roller, or if you if those are too hard for you, you can sub for plank as well for max time. But that wraps up our lower strength day. Moving on to day 4, Thursday, that's going to be our steady state day again. So this will be 30 minutes of steady state pace training. So, you can do light running, air bike keep it over 180, 200 watts, rowing at like a 210 pace or better, etc. It's going to be 30 minutes, so you definitely want to pace yourself quick, but you don't want to go all out. So keep it, if you want to put it in RPE terms, keep it about RPE 8. But that'll be our day 4 Thursday. Nothing's really changed there. Our day 5 on Friday, that's going to be our full body strength day. We're moving into squats first thing. We're going to be doing a 4x4, and then we'll move right into back extensions for a 3x15, incline dumbbell press for a 3x10. Then we have our first superset, dumbbell hammer curls at 3x15, supersetted with push-ups for a 3x20, much like last week. And then we also have our dumbbell or kettlebell farmer's walk, 3x30 supersetted with dumbbell kettlebell shrugs for a 3x15. You'll want to keep these pretty heavy. We're going to be focusing on stabilization, but then also we want to be able to put in that work with our shrugs as well. Goal is to, for those 3 supersets, try not to drop the dumbbells. Forearms are going to be burning, but it's going to help you get better in the end. And then we will be closing the day with everybody's favorite Bulgarian split squats for a 3x12 on each leg. That wraps up our full body strength day. And then day 6, Saturday, that's going to be our active recovery day. So 30-45 minutes continuous low impact activity, whether it's walking, easy swimming, rucking with a light pack, et cetera, et cetera. Keep it at a naturally brisk pace, but you don't want to have any issues having a conversation with somebody that's moving along with you. But that wraps up week 3 for January 12th to 18th. And yeah, that's this week's training. Week 3 is upon us. By now, you're probably feeling the grind a little bit. Last week definitely wasn't easy. But that's the point. Progress doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from leaning into the hard stuff. Every rep you push through, every moment you wanted to quit but you didn't, that's where the growth happens. And the thing about progress is it's not always obvious in the moment. You could be looking in the mirror and saying, man, I've been doing this for 2 weeks. I haven't really seen anything. You could be looking at the number on the bar and be like, man, I had to take a little bit off the bar this week. Sometimes all progress is just showing up when you don't feel like it, or adding a little more weight when you think you can't. And over time, those small victories add up to something bigger and better than you could have possibly imagined, right? So as we step into this next week, keep this in mind. The hard stuff is what's going to make us stronger, not just physically, but mentally. And it's going to have an effect on everything around us in our life, our relationships, our professional life, our friends, family, so on and so forth. Stick with it, push through, trust the process. You're building something that goes beyond just the gym. It's about who you're becoming. And with all that being said, let's get after it this week. Push through the uncomfortable. Let's come out the other side of this better than we were yesterday. And always remember, train hard. I'll see you guys out there.